Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to a Monday edition of Awesome Calls Trading. I am AJ. Nice to meet all of you. Today was a wonderful day to trade today, as always. A lot of ideas out there, different stocks, a lot of different plays, and so forth. LH just hit 179 traders. Let me show you if it's going to 180 while I'm on. So that's way you can see. Hold on. Let me see if I have them lined up yet. Level two. I get you to 179.55, pretty comfortable. After that, I'd have to look at it for the 180. But I see 179.32 coming, 42s and 55s, pretty easy. That should be a pretty easy one. Once you break that, then the 180s will flash and you can finish it off. I came in the room at 177 and had it set up for you, and now that's a 2-point trade. If you had bought 300 shares, you'd be up $600 for the day. Okay. And again, just keep an eye. There's no sellers. I keep telling you, as long as there's no big sellers, the stock will run. The big seller shows up, they're going to hold it back and pull it back. Okay. So really, really nice. Okay. There's that one. So let's go back to ABDL. Okay. Basically this morning when I got up, there were quite a few stocks in play that were gapping up. ABDL was one of those stocks. Today we traded on our list. CNXM, which really didn't do what we wanted. It did end up coming down to 7,750 world um, of a sell-off off the earnings report today. ABDL had announced the top line data on phase 3. However, it is sleepiness. And as you know, in Awesome Calls Trading, I do educate traders and let them know what drugs really make a difference in our world. And fortunately, a lot of them people don't really care about certain defects, so to speak, or certain areas, such as diet pills and sleepiness is one of those, eyes and so forth. And so, to me, that was going to be just a short sell off to 11 and under. Inyo, this was just a setup short, and then Citron added. Adam gave us a nice alert, and the stock is heading down towards $11 and under. AUDC, this had a really a nice earnings beat, and they're doing a collaboration with Google, so I felt the stock had more room to run this morning, up to $29 a share before any kind of short. AXSM, beautiful, achieved primary ending on phase 2, 3, 3. But there's a key wording here that I wrote down, and that word was basically, but anyway, there was a key word where I wanted to short the stock, so I can't express it enough. And then from there, but the it was up 50 points on Alzheimer's disease, which is it's huge. It's like cancer, and so that was going to get a nice solid move. But to the downside for me, I was looking to $100 on the stock. Once it broke 100, I wanted to go to $90, and so the bottom there was going to be between 85 and 90, and then bottom curl and grind out. And the stock ended up going about 87, 88, right in the middle, and curled around 90 and hit 100 back up. So beautiful trade there. Beyond was our big trade of the day. Um, this one, I believe me, I wrote 103, but I had typed too fast. And I was telling the traders that if it snapped 108 and it broke it, it was going to go straight to 103, 105. If it snapped that, we would get the full amount to 100 and under. Stock ended up hitting 98. This was a downgrade. I saw a lot of copycat chat rooms take our call and actually post it in the room. Pretty much identical notes this morning were told to me from a trader in one of the other rooms that's joining us this week. He had about a week left on his subscription, and he noticed that the room had just taken our call, copy and pasted it around 6:17 this morning, and gave the same call. So anyway, he'll be joining us. He's actually in here, our room today, but that's how I knew. Anyway, LH, this is a great trade to 180. I called it out, and currently the stock hit 179.81, and that was a beautiful trade, all the way from 170 a share for a 10-point trade. Again, every trade I try to provide in pre-market has range. I mean, I'm talking 5, 10, 15 points minimum. And this way, if you are late to the party or you don't come in early in the morning and you miss the initial call or whatever, not to worry. Don't even worry about that. There's always an opportunity. NVIDIA, this one actually just, ran out of the gate. I really wanted to short the gap up, but it had a mind of its own and it just flew. So this one didn't particularly work on the downside until it hit 303. Then all of a sudden it just stopped. Shop was a great call, 640 short. I called a short at 664, room to 670 to add. This was the very first trade I traded today. And then, of course, Tesla. I told everyone don't buy it unless it hits 740 at the open, and then you would get 755. Tesla did not stop. It ran all the way to 799. Facebook, initially I wanted to pull back at the open to 191 and then bottom curl to 193 or more. And then the stock ended up selling off after that once it did that. Zoom, this one just ran. I had a pop to 161 and then a sell off. It hit 164 and then sold off. So, and then ARCT. So today I just want to highlight a few trades that really worked really well on the list. I had a game plan. I did the homework. I was up at 3:30 this morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I was just really focused. My energy level was there. I was excited, and I just wanted to make. As far as my daily goal, it was hit within the first, uh, I think it was 18 minutes it took me. I traded AXSM based off of my notes. I paid at shop. It was the first trade I executed was when I shorted it at the open with 100 shares, and I caught 1.8 points in a heartbeat. And then of course the Tesla long, where I told you if I bought it at 740, I would pay it all the way up to 755, but it gave me even a better gift. I ended up with about $1,204.69 for the day. Every trade was alerted in the room. You could hear my executions go off. Every time I executed, I would tell the traders if I won or lost, how much I was up. And once I was at 1,075, I saw Tesla get ready to run again. I popped it again, and I got an extra, I think it was 100 something, $140, and I ended my day. So, all right, so that's what I did today personally. Until tomorrow, we'll do it again. 1,000 a day for the rest of my life. That's what I keep telling. Okay, the first one we did was AVDL. I read the news, felt the stock would come down to $11 a share, so any pop at the open. I made it very clear, do not long the stock unless it hit 14 or more. Then it would run back to highs. If not, lower lows would set in, and it would just fade all the way to 11 and under. Expect an offering after the close or within 48 hours, probably around 10.50 or $10 a share. And this has just been a straight short from the opening bell. The next one we went after today was Inyo. Props to the great Raphael in our chat room. Raphael's been giving us this stock since the 11s. On Friday, he really was just all over it, and then Darkside got on the mic and he started walking it up to 14 or 14, I think. It was 15. I remember I was in the room, and he did call the stock to had room to 16 or more. This morning it gapped up, pushed out, and then hit 1650. I felt the stock would sell back, at least hit 1450. The great Adam News, they let us know that Citron was coming out with a short, which he did before, about 6 months, 3 months ago, where he took it down to $7 a share. And so this one is just fading even more. So we got more than our 14 call that we were after. The next one we did was a stock called LH. LH. This was a nice, pretty stock today. The goal was to go to 180 today on the stock from 100. This was an analyst call. Again, as you know, in our chat room, I have certain analysts I like to play. And this one was gapping up. I called for a small gap fill pullback to 168 to 170, bottom curl, then long, and then room up to 180. And it did just that. And then pre-market, I was saying watch for the pop at open to 175, scale in short, take it down. I did want it to come down to 168 for a bottom curl, but it's stuck at 170, 171, and then just curled nicely. So either or, you could have had this one for about 2 to 3 points, and then of course this move here for a good 5 to 7 points. I was all over this all day today. Um, I didn't trade it because I didn't need to, but I was helping traders make money that maybe missed something or had a bad morning. The next one we did was shop. I was all over this morning. This was my baby. This was gapping up over 21 points this morning. on no news, which gave me an indication if there's no news, I'm going to short it. I was indicating to everyone start shorting at 664 with room to 670 to add because it is a wide range trade. As soon as the market opened, I put in a market order of 100 shares short. I was immediately down 180, 212. Then I was down 50, 90, 60, 80. And I turned green right here. And then as soon as it pulled, I was green over, I think it was $224. I immediately covered and I got $185 on the trade. And it took literally 20 seconds to get paid. So that was a really nice trade there. And as you can see, it broke the 640 and came all the way down to 625. So if you're on the short side of this, you would have made even more money. The next one that we did today was Beyond. Beyond caught a downgrade this morning. And on Beyond, I was really making it clear, start shorting at 114. It was actually gapping up on the downgrade, which really kind of blew me away. And I was looking for a short at 114, room to 116 to add, scale in, have a nice average. My initial call on it was to go to 100, and it did just that. And I bounced off the 100 really nice, and now it's selling off a little bit more. This was an analyst call, and I wanted to play it today, so we did. This is a beautiful play for at least 10, 15. A lot of option traders came in here and took the call. One notable, Alamaz. He's really a really great trader. Alamaz took puts, 89, 90, and 100 puts on my call, and he made 13.7 and 169 over $2,000 on the trade. He netted about 28.52 today. So this was a really nice trade. If he had held it even a little bit longer, he probably would have made even more. So anyway, really cool. He risked, I think, $3,000 on this trade to make almost $3,000. So I was really proud of him. And that's what we do for you, you option players that don't have a lot of money. And you can, we make the call. You just buy the puts at the open, and you can't lose because we know where the stock's going to go before it gets there. I want to give a shout out also to Leon Wave Viper. Had a good day this morning. I think he netted over $1,100 today. Did really good on that. And let's see, Joseph did pretty good. Of course, I did all right. Of course, we still have more P&Ls coming in through the day. The next one we had was Tesla. This one I made it very clear this morning. I'm very, very specific on how to trade these stocks. And this morning, Tesla had news that they're going to allow people to come back to work that want to come back to work. So I'm sure they're going to sign a release. I'm sure he's got, some sort of releases. If you're going to come back to work and you catch the virus, don't blame me type thing. But people want to work. It's tough out there. Uh, to be honest with you, I think day trading is the best way to make money. I mean, it is an amazing way to make living and just continue to make a living, especially in this chat room. But given the fact that a lot of people just don't have work, people are begging to go back to work, get something. It seems like unemployment's drying up for a lot of people, and a lot of people have been trying to get unemployment for a month, month and a half, hasn't even received a check yet. Some of them don't even get the stimulus check, so the businesses are just going crazy in the sense that, just the world is changing, and here we're making money off the off the stock market, just crazy money, just by determining where the stocks are going to go before they go there. Just like this LH, you see. I mean, we had a target price at from 170 to 180 this morning. So if you had come in our room and bought 180 calls, you know, I mean, you're there. And you're done. Probably risk 2,000 for a $2,500 return. So anyway, Tesla. This one I really was just adamant. I said, look, it's gapping up, so don't long it unless it pops to 740 at the open. So I want you to watch how we played it, or exactly how I played it. As soon as it hit 740, I started taking long. I nailed this pop here for a point and a half, right? And then I went back in it, and then I actually lost. It took back money. So I actually, when I started, I was negative $14 because the spreads were just all over the place. In the morning, when you start trading, uh, the spreads are just everywhere. Their market makers are just, they're not like right now where they are, you know? And so they're kind of like all over the place. So I had to be patient. Once it curled around, I saw it get ready to run. Bam, I nailed this one right here. Now this move right here, just so you can see, from when I went up long right here on 742, it ran 7 points. Now I caught two or three of those, two times. All right. So then when that happened, I was like, okay, I have room to 755. So I waited for another curl. So as you can scroll over, I'll show you again right here. Once it curled around right here, I saw it flagging again. Okay, remember now, I said 755 is what my target price, which is up here, right there. That's 755 roughly. So what I did is I curled it around. I saw it curl. I went long again. Bam, another 200 shares in my pocket. Curled around again here. Bam, 100 shares. Boom, another 180 in my pocket. I would now at this point, I'm up $600. Now the trade has already moved from 740, 12 points. So I captured half of that just on my basic scalping. Okay. Then it didn't want to break. Once it hit 755, it had a mind of its own. I saw the curl coming around again. I waited. Boom. I nailed it off that breakout. Smashed it up here. I nailed another $200. Now I'm up $800 on the trade. Okay. I came around again. Right there at 764. Boom. I nailed it. 180 more. Ended up $996.30. You don't believe me? The trade is right here. Noel just made 3,600, 3,300 today. Taking ABDL short and AYTL and futures money. Congratulations, Noel. But yeah, see, and I and I and what I do when I trade live in front of you, I let you know I'm entering here. I'm watching the flag breakout. I'm logging here, and you hear me execute. And when I'm done executing, you hear me execute the sell. Then I tell you my P&L. Then I do it again. I tell you my P&L. Every time, win or lose. Oh, I lost 100 on that one. Oh, I made 80 on that one. Oh, I lost 60 on that one. Oh, I'm up 300 on that one. And within 18 minutes, I was done with almost $1,000 just scalping the trade on the way up. And that was it. Only 3 stocks to trade today. That's all I had to do. So then I came up over here, and it continued to go even higher. And so then at that point, I just kind of helped walk it up for traders. I think Kevin was one of them. I said, Kevin, here's gonna pop, gonna come right here on this flag breakout, and it ran like 7, 8 points. Then another one right here. Here's another breakout. See these breakouts right here? The 790 breakout was beautiful. I called that one live in the room. If I was trading it, I even showed an execution as if I was to trade it, and bam, it ran all the way up to 798. So everyone could have baked 3 or 4 points. Now, along the way, mind you, I do miss up sometimes. Like I see this breakout coming, and I'll go long and it pulls. So I might lose $200 or 180, but I'm pretty good about just regrouping, waiting for the move again, and then you'll hear me go, oh man, it took me, darn it now, oh darn, oh shucks, oops, darn it, frustrated, oh, it's okay. I just regroup, come back, pull it right here, bam, long again, and I get all that money that I lost, and then add it to my money I have, and that's how I trade Tesla. And the morning moves are the fastest and easiest. If I was trading in the afternoon, I probably would have just traded these moves here on these little breakouts. They would have took longer, but I would have like longed it here on this flag breakout, ran it up here, things like that. I would have been done because Tesla has a lot of range, and I love playing the stock. Okay, so that's kind of like that explaining on that one. AXSM. This was a great short this morning. I caught this off originally off of BioFeed that I follow every morning, and then the great Palmer let us know right away that the stock was gapping up 6 points thin. But as you can see, the stock had gapped up. He caught it early at 6 points. If you look right here, when the news came, it was up here from, I think it was right there, from 84 from 78. So he called it here, and then a buyer came in. Now this is a thin stock, so it doesn't take much, but this buyer came in with 350 shares, and he ended up getting all the way to 125. So a nice 30, 40 point move. But again, it's very thin. It's not the easiest trade in the morning. Something like that, you buy 50 shares, 100 shares. you could lose 3 to 5 points easy, but the gain was really nice. I mean, obviously you could sell it here at 116 for, I don't know, quite a bit of money. For me as a day trader, I looked at the news, looked at the stock. I'm very familiar with this stock. I've traded it a long time. And if you want to look, the last 10 days, it's backholder city. And because it's a certain way I was reading the news, I felt that the stock value was about $90 a share, 85 to 90. So I called the stock to come down to 85 to $90 a share, and there's 87.44 was the bottom. So dead center of my call. And you don't believe me? It says it right here. And AXSM. And this really goes into, there's 85.90. This really goes into just trading for years. I have traded AXSM for probably a minimum 8, 9 years. And I understand this stock so very well. And so for me, when I saw it, it was just automatic. But I also gave the news value. So I was very careful not to tell anybody in the room, don't. In other words, I didn't want you to gap fill it. It wasn't going to gap fill. And it wasn't going to come down to 80. The value of this news made this stock $90 a share, if not more. Now, also, I want you to see this afternoon um, on it right here. I'll show it to you. AXSM, and you see it, and they're already coming out with Landenberg with 186 price target. Cantor, they actually clean toilets Monday through Friday, and then they pretend that they're analysts on the weekends. So they came up with 131 from 125, which is irrelevant. It means absolutely nothing. But the one that stood out was Landenberg's 165, 186. But if you can notice, um, and then SunTrust had a nice increase to 200. But I do want you to note, especially on these two, why we don't really pay too much attention is because if the Alzheimer's, if the drug was doing so well, you wouldn't get a $6 increase. You see my point? And you wouldn't get a $20 increase. You'd be like SunTrust giving 50 to $60 on it. Uh, this is a significant increase on a buy rating. So this is telling me that the stock has a little bit more upside on it, but it also told me that uh, reassured me that $90 was going to be a bottom. So I didn't want anybody trying to gap fill it and thinking it was just going to come all the way down. And that's really important when you're in our chat room, especially. So, and it was really nice to see LH. I hit the 180 mark, and there it is, 180. Again, this is just a simple analyst call. I looked it up this morning. I did my research. I liked it. It was gapping up. I'll show you the gap up right here. And this has been in the news several times, if you notice. And so it was finally, you could see that, we had nice pops and then sell off. A lot of move on the stock since I think it was down here. It started. I've been trading this for 5 or 6 days. So it finally, Citibank decided to say, you know what, enough. We're going to go ahead and upgrade the stock. And they did this morning. And once I saw that, I knew right then and there, right here, neutral to buy, upgraded, and with a significant price target of 130. I'm sorry, no, that's not it. I'm sorry, hold on. There it is. Um, yeah, this is a miss. This was DGX. Yeah, no, LH right here. There it goes. 204 to 214 right there. So once I saw upgraded by Citi from 214, I knew that I had a stock to 180. And today I called it out to 180. That's how that stock came up. So when you do the homework and you do the research and you know what analyst and this is what I try to teach day in and day out. And I have on my website, um, I try to help clients all the time to understand what we do and how we read things. And so on my websites, you'll see that I offer, when you click in, you can buy. And I had a lot of people buy How to Trade the Open this weekend, but there's that one down here. It's called the strategy one, and it's $2.99. $3.99 if you're a first timer and you want 1 month free to the room. It's called the strategy right here. And this is 2 hours of just solid intel on how I find stocks, how I categorize them, how I have my top analyst plays, who are my top analysts to look for, how I read bios, how I read level twos and quotes, um, what I what gives me an idea to short for a pump and dump, the scans that I use, why I use these scans, how I start each morning. I basically give you the secret sauce of secret sauces. I mean, this is the magic of what I do, and I lay it all out for you, step by steps. Um, um, Adam, I like it at 188. I'm good there. I mean, I like it. I know you've been on Facebook all day long, but I like it there. Still has a little bit more room, but I think they're kind of. I think the bottom is probably around that 187.50 area, so might have room to 190. But this one really kind of just tells you and indicates you just it just really explains a clear and understanding of the news plays, analyst upgrades, how I put my list together, um, and it really just it really just gives you everything and how my risk reward on each trade and so forth. And it spends 2 hours of me just going over and showing you on scan and what to look for, how the gaps, how they're going to work. Uh, but it opens your eyes. It's probably the most thorough um, session with me to get in my brain, and I price it pretty reasonable, but I like it. I mean, it's helped a lot of traders in here, especially the annual clients. I've got about 75 annual clients in here every year, and in November, December, they all do it, and this is part of their package. And I always do a new one or two before the end of the year. And on top of that, I also do one-on-one sessions on annuals. I spend 2 hours with you, just you and me on the microphone, and on just watching you, how you trade, stopping you, telling you, hey, don't do this. This is what you're doing wrong. Listening to you talk, what your weaknesses are, and that's what I do. It's important, for annual clients. They're going to spend a year with me. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what areas you're messing up with. How we can fix it. And I've been trading for 16 years, traders. So I got a lot of knowledge. And before that, I used to do mortgage banking, and I used to be an underwriter at my. I used to analyze and underwrite loans all day just by looking at a credit report and listening and just looking at an application. And within 2 seconds, I could decide if you were going to get a $500,000 loan, $1 million loan, a $200,000 loan. I could, I could, I could just identify. It's like looking at a chart. It's just kind of it's numbers to me. And so that's what I do. And then I put my list together, and if usually about 95, 97% accurate. So if something doesn't work, for instance, let's say we have a long going here and it's not working, we can flip it short. And if it's not giving us what we want, we cut it off and we just move to another stock. Um, and if one or two don't work, the other 9 or 10 are the other 9 or 10 are going to work. So I think the best trade today, besides Tesla, was Beyond. Tesla wasn't the call of the day because I didn't see 799 coming. I was good for 15 points, which is typically what Tesla gives us. And I thought shop short to 640 was a magnificent call for 24 points. But honestly, to me, it was beyond. I mean, today, calling that to $100. I mean, that was just, I don't tell you. That was just a wonderful trade. And to spot it out and find it on an analyst and to know it was gapping up told me even more to get in. So what it does is it tells my clients, listen, this is going to fall. So take advantage. Look at what I wrote here. I do think stop chasing. Yes, it has room to 640. I do this will sell off, but take advantage of the gap up here. Do you hear what I'm saying to my clients? If you were in my room and I'm like, traders, you don't get it. Take advantage of that gap because there's no reason for it to be gap other than shorts are squeezing in pre-market. The higher it pops, the better the range to the downside. Now look at the trade. Look at the trade. Look at Beyond. If you were in our chat room today, the higher the pop, the better the range to the downside. The higher the pop, the better the range to the downside. And I told you to start running at 114 short. So imagine if you would have got it at 103, the 10 points, 100 shares, 11,000 buying power, $1,000 in your bank account. I mean, this is what we do. I mean, LH, 170 to 180, another 10-point trade. Shop, I mean, we must have traded over 200 points in here today. I mean, this is our room. This is what we do. And we'll do it again every single day you're in here. And if you're struggling, we want to help you. There's no reason to struggle. It's just you're struggling because you don't understand. Your anxiety is taking over. You're scared. You don't understand, is this really going to happen? And then when it happens, you're like, I should have took the trade. But by then it's too late. So what I try to do every day is pound it in you. Take the trade. Take the trade. And the best way to learn is when you trade with somebody who that puts a list together and executes based on that list. Tells you I'm going to trade these 4 stocks today, and then executes those 4 trades or those 3 or 4 stocks and makes $1,000 right in front of you. If I can do it, you can do it. You can emulate my trades. You can follow my trades. You can do whatever you want. And you don't need much money. I mean, um, what do you need? Let's see. You need at least 80,000 buying power if you're going to trade Tesla. You need 70,000 buying power if you're going to trade Shop. And I traded with 100 shares at a time, in and out, click, 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 click. Obviously, if you have a $25,000, $30,000 account, 4 times buying power, 5 times buying power, you got plenty. You got plenty of money. Um, but if you have a smaller account and you have uh, a lot of margin money uh, on what do you call that? Buying power, not buying power. What's this? 6 to 1 margin, 8 to 1 margin, 20 to 1 margin. I mean, if you have 5,000, 20 to 1 margin, that means you have 100 grand to work with. You could be doing the same thing. If you have, you know, uh, not need to clarify, but if you have a $500 account with 15, 20,000 to play with, then yeah, you need that one you can only play maybe 20 shares, but 20 shares on 20 points is still $400, you know? So I don't know, there's something for everyone. Or you could just short AVDL and make 3 or 4 points to the downside, you know? 1,000 shares short AVDL because you know what? The bottom line is we know where the stock's going to go and you don't. We're here to teach you. Look, we knew out here at 1375, at 1350, this was just a move to 11 and under. We know the stock is going to do this. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. It's just sometimes it does it quicker and sometimes it takes all day. But at the end of the day, it's $11 and under. So that's what we do. So if you had 500 shares short at $13 and it hits 11, guess what? 500 shares only cost you $7,000 buying power, give or take, right? And 2 points would have made you $1,000 on 500 shares. And if you got early in pre-market, man, what a beauty. All right, so that is today's live webinar recap. I hope you learned something. Look forward to trading with you tomorrow. And this is our list. And if you all want to be on our site, just click in and be in our room tomorrow. Just click and boom, you're in there. Go to the site, scroll down. 25 for a day, 100 for a week, and 675 for a day, which is equal to 197. Busy week, traders. I cannot stress this is going to be a crazy week. If you're trading, this is your time. This is going to be fun. I mean, look at this week. Amazon, McDonald's, iRobot. I could just Caterpillar. I'm just got 3M, the airlines, Humana, Spotify. I mean, Boeing, Tesla, Microsoft, Facebook. Do I need to keep Whirlpool? I mean, oh my gosh. How could you not make $1,000 a day doing what you love? I don't know. It's there. But hey, see you tomorrow. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.